You weren't born. You were recruited. From the first breath you took, they didn't see a miracle. They saw a mule, a shoulder to carry their burdens, a back to build their bridges, a bank account with a heartbeat. Look at your hands. They don't belong to you. They belong to the landlord, the boss, the ungrateful relatives, and the ghosts of people who only remember your name when their pockets are empty. You'll spend 30 years buying everyone's happiness with the currency of your own soul. And the reward for your silence? They call you cold. They call you arrogant because you finally ran out of smiles to give. You are the invisible mortar of a house that would replace you in a week if your heart stopped beating today. This is not a video. This is an autopsy of the man you murdered to keep them warm. If you're ready to stop being their carpet and start being their king, stay. If you're too afraid to see the blood on your own crown, then keep scrolling and die in the shadows of their expectations.
Let's be honest. Nobody loves you for who you are. They love you for what you provide. From the moment you were born, your mother's hug was tied to your grades, and your father's pride was tied to your sports trophy. You were never a son. You were an investment. And now that you are 30, the investment must pay its interest. You are the engine that runs their lives. You are the golden bridge they walk on to cross the mud of their own problems. But have you ever noticed, they only admire the bridge as long as it doesn't crack. The moment your iron grows weary, the moment your hands start to shake, they don't help you stand. They look for a stronger bridge. Test it today. Go home and tell them you lost your job. Tell them your bank account is at zero. Watch how quickly the unconditional love turns into a cold, silent judgment. Watch how the people who ate at your table suddenly find reasons to be somewhere else. You are not a human being to them. You are a utility, a machine that is supposed to produce gold, even if it has to bleed for it. You've spent 30 years buying their loyalty with your sweat, but loyalty bought with gold vanishes with the dust. And the most terrifying part isn't that they use you. It's that you have forgotten how to exist without their permission. But the real betrayal isn't from the world. It's from the people who share your last name. Stay tuned, because the next truth is going to break your heart.
Stop and think for a moment. When was the last time you bought something just for yourself? You can't remember, can you? Because every dream you ever had has been strangled to death, buried under the weight of electricity bills, a sister's wedding, and a younger brother's tuition. You leave home every morning and they ask, "What will you bring back?" But nobody ever asks, "When will you come home?" You see your father's old shirt and your mother's tired eyes, and you bury your own exhaustion in a shallow grave. You stopped smiling years ago just so the smiles on their faces wouldn't fade. By the time you hit 30, you are no longer a human being. You are an expectation. Everyone needs a piece of you, a hand to hold, a pocket to reach into, a wall to lean on. But when you start to crumble, when your own knees hit the floor, there is no shoulder for you to cry on. You have to stay the man, because if you fall, the entire house falls with you. You filled everyone's plate, but your own soul is starving. And the cruelest part, after a lifetime of bleeding for them, one day they will look you in the eye and say, "But what have you actually done for us?" The next chapter is for the friends and relatives who are only waiting for your funeral to see who gets your gold.
Look around at the smiling faces, the warm handshakes, the brothers who would supposedly bleed for you. Have you ever wondered, where were they? Where were they when you were broken on the floor, clutching the pieces of your life 20 years ago? They weren't there. You built your kingdom alone, with 0 hands to hold. You were a nobody to them, a name they only used as a punchline. But the moment the golden brick was laid, the moment the smell of your sweat turned into the scent of success, the garden became full of vipers. Suddenly everyone has a claim on your gold. Everyone is a partner in your pain. These friends were only there to drink at your table, never to pay for the wine. And the relatives, they are vultures circling your exhausted body. They don't want your love, they want a loan, they want a favor, they want a shortcut that you bled to build. Test them today. Go silent, go broke, tell them you can't help. Watch the brotherhood dissolve like soft and rainwater. You were never part of their circle. You were just the resource that kept it running. The most terrifying thing isn't their greed. It's the moment you realize you are drowning in a sea of people, and yet you are entirely alone. The ghost in the mirror is waiting. In the next chapter, you have to look him in the eye and apologize.
Have you ever asked him? Not the man they see, not the machine they use, but him, the one who has been trapped in the dark for 30 years. Look in the mirror. Look deeper, beyond the fine lines, the tired eyes, and the fake smile. Do you see him? Do you see the little boy you used to be before you murdered him to become what they wanted? He remembers, because you don't. He remembers the time you used to look at the grown-ups and dream of having their freedom. He remembers you wishing to grow up, to be a man, to enjoy. What a beautiful lie it was. Because then came the 21s and the 1030s, and the enjoyment was traded for expectation. Your dreams of flight were crushed by the weight of a money-earning trap. You traded your soul for their comfort, and now they call you cold. They call you arrogant because you finally stopped being their carpet. The tragedy is that you are an invisible martyr. You are the king of an empty castle. Your youth was stolen by the promise of their tomorrow. Every sacrifice you made was just a golden coin added to their bank of ungratefulness. You filled everyone's plate, but your own soul is starving. And the cruelest part, after a lifetime of bleeding for them, one day they will look you in the eye and say, "But what have you actually done for us?" You were never part of their circle. You were just the resource that kept it running. The most terrifying thing isn't their greed. It's the moment you realize you are drowning in a sea of people. And yet, you are entirely alone. The ghost in the mirror isn't waiting for an apology. She's waiting for a resurrection. But you can't save him until you find the weapon they buried in his heart.
Enough. Stop mourning the man you murdered. He's gone. The boy who wanted to be loved is dead, and the world is the one who pulled the trigger. But here's the secret they never wanted you to find. Regret is not a cage. It is fuel. Take every tear you never shed and turn it into iron. Take every thankless night, every betrayal from your blood, and every insult from your friends, and melt them down. Forge a blade from the shards of your broken heart. If the world only loves you when you provide, then stop providing for their comfort. Start providing for your empire. 30 years were stolen? Fine, let them be the price of your resurrection. You are no longer the provider, the one who begs for a smile at the dinner table. You are the sovereign, the one who owns the table, the one who decides who gets to eat and who starves in the silence you once lived in. They wanted a machine? Give them a god. They wanted a martyr? Give them a king. Your pain is no longer a wound. It is your weapon. And with this weapon, you are going to burn down the version of you that they used to control. The funeral is over. The reign begins now. But to wear the crown, you must first learn the art of being heartless. The funeral of the nice guy is over. Bury him deep. The man who lived for their smiles, who bled for their comfort, and who died every day just to hear a thank you. He is no more. You are the resurrection. You are the survivor of a 30-year massacre. From this moment, you don't provide, you rule. You don't beg for respect, you command it. The table is yours. If they want to eat, they follow your rules. If they want your protection, they earn your loyalty. You are no longer the bridge they walk on. You are the mountain they must climb. Build your empire in the silence of your scars. Let the gold you create be the shield that protects your peace. You owe nothing to the parasites who only knew your name when you were useful. You are a sovereign man, a creature of fire forged in the cold desert of neglect. Your 30 years were just the training. The real war starts now. The world is terrified of a man who needs nothing from them. Become that man. The journey to the throne is lonely, but the view is worth the blood. Your reign began the second you stopped asking for permission. Welcome to the elite. Welcome to the secret sauce. Subscribe or stay a martyr. The choice is yours. The crown is waiting.